Scientists reveal secrets to long life and old age. In the quiet town of Willowbrook, nestled among rolling hills and whispering pines, lived Eleanor Grayson, a 78-year-old woman with a spark that defied her years. Her days were filled with tending her garden, teaching piano to neighborhood kids, and sharing stories of her adventures as a young nurse traveling the world. But in the spring of 2025, Eleanor faced a challenge that tested her spirit: a diagnosis of early-stage heart disease. The doctor's words were stark: slow down, or you won't see 80. For Eleanor, who'd climbed mountains and danced under starlit skies, slowing down felt like surrender. One evening, flipping through a science journal at the local library, Eleanor stumbled upon an article titled "Secrets to Longevity: What Science Reveals About Thriving in Old Age." It wasn't about miracle pills or fad diets, but about habits, mindset, and community backed by decades of research. Inspired, Eleanor decided to rewrite her story, not as one of decline, but of defiance and renewal. She wasn't just going to live, she was going to thrive. The article outlined 5 principles, drawn from studies like the Harvard Grant Study and Blue Zones research. First was purpose. People who lived longest had a reason to wake up each day. Eleanor reflected on her love for teaching. Her piano lessons weren't just about music. They were about connecting with kids like Mia, a shy 10-year-old who bloomed under Eleanor's encouragement. She doubled her lessons, turning her living room into a haven of laughter and melody. Each note she taught felt like a note added to her own life. Second was movement. Scientists emphasized natural activity over grueling workouts. Eleanor's garden became her gym. She dug, planted, and weeded, her hands caked with earth, her heart pumping. She joined a local walking group, swapping stories with retirees as they strolled Willowbrook's trails. Her doctor noticed her blood pressure stabilizing, her energy soaring. "You're a walking miracle," he said. But Eleanor knew it was just dirt and determination. Third was diet, but not restriction. Joyful, whole foods shared with others. The Blue Zones study highlighted communal meals in places like Okinawa and Sardinia, where centenarians thrived on beans, greens, and connection. Eleanor hosted potlucks, inviting neighbors to share soups and salads from her garden's bounty. The table groaned under homemade bread and laughter, and she felt her heart grow lighter with each gathering. Fourth was connection. Loneliness, the studies warned, was as deadly as smoking. Eleanor had outlived many friends, but she refused isolation. She volunteered at the community center, teaching knitting to teens and swapping stories with veterans. One friend, Clara, a spry 82-year-old, became her confidant. They'd sit on Eleanor's porch, sipping tea, planning adventures, a train ride to the coast, a book club for mysteries. Clara's laughter was medicine, and Eleanor's heart condition seemed to fade in its warmth. The final principle was mindset. Optimism and resilience, the research showed, extended life. Eleanor faced her fears head-on. She wrote letters to her younger self, forgiving past mistakes, and journaled daily, focusing on gratitude. When her heart fluttered, she breathed deeply, picturing her garden in bloom. She took up meditation, guided by a free app, and found peace in silence, her mind a garden of its own. Months passed, and Eleanor's transformation inspired Willowbrook. Mia's parents joined the walking group. The potlucks grew, filling the community center. Neighbors started gardens, and Clara led a campaign to restore the town's park. Eleanor's doctor, stunned by her improved tests, asked her secret. "Science and stubbornness," she quipped, handing him the journal article. By her 79th birthday, Eleanor felt younger than she had at 70. She celebrated with a piano recital, her students playing alongside her, the room packed with neighbors. Mia, no longer shy, performed a duet with her, their hands dancing over the keys. As applause filled the air, Eleanor realized she wasn't just living longer, she was living better. The article had been her map, but the journey was hers. Studies showed that purpose, movement, diet, connection, and mindset could add years. But Eleanor proved they added life. She planned her next adventure, a trip to Italy, inspired by Sardinia's centenarians. As she packed, she smiled, knowing age was just a number, and her story was far from over. Word spread beyond Willowbrook. On X, posts about Eleanor's secrets went viral, inspiring others to embrace their own longevity. Scientists might reveal the secrets, but Eleanor showed the world how to live them. One note, one step, one smile at a time.